Hello everybody, SCP Slayer here, and welcome back to Wiki Read. Well, this wiki is different from the other one that I was reading, but this is episode 1 of the SCP Wiki and episode 2 of the overall series. That's gonna be really confusing. I don't even know what the heck I just saw. Oh, it's a tiny image. I didn't realize that was an image. I thought that was like a meter or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is the SCP Foundation Wiki, which is literally the thing that my channel was based off. And yeah, I'm going to essentially give a small breakdown of what this is, how it was made, and some interesting stuff that those of you who are first coming to this website might find interesting. So here we go to series 1. So first off, I'm going to start talking about how it began. I'm going to have to go to SCP 173. Where are you? There you are. So this is the original SCP. I know you wouldn't expect the 173rd SCP to be the first one, but it is. The very first SCP actually came later. Probably gonna get something for this image, but you know. SCP-173, Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time. The door is to be relocked behind them at all times. Persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Description: Moved to Site 19 in 1993. I forgot the in. I didn't expect to see that, but okay. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. This object cannot move while within direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to enter the container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. Oh boy. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. And then, of course, the creator information, stuff like that down here, but I'm not going to read that. So yeah, this is SCP-173. This is the original SCP. This is essentially their god. Their god is a stone statue that is probably one of the weaker SCPs nowadays. Yeah. So this was posted to 4chan. This entire thing was posted to 4chan, and that's what started it. This image, this containment procedures and description, just formatted differently. I will say it was formatted differently. And people started reading it and started talking about, hey, what if there was more of these creepy items and creatures and shit just shoved in cells by a foundation? And that's how eventually this became a thing. and became one of the coolest things out there. Um, but yeah, this is why I didn't go to SCP-001 because it's got all of this, and it's not just one SCP. If I go down here, that's supposed to be the mimetic kill agent. Yeah, these are all different SCPs, and they're long ass articles. And for the first episode, I'm not gonna go over these. I'll go over some of them as I go through with the series, because I think each of these is long enough to fill an episode in and of itself. But if you guys want me to read a specific one, I'll make an episode on just reading a specific one. I don't mind that. I've already got one suggestion, which I'm saving for another video. Because, well, Foundation. Long-ass articles. But yeah. So that's essentially the breakdown of... That's a very simplified breakdown, by the way. That is not the actual, like, full thing. That's just a breakdown of how this all got started. And, well... should probably talk about some of these things, shouldn't I? So, well, the most important thing here is object classes. There's the primary classes, the non-standards, and stuff. I'll talk about the primary classes. These three are the most normal ones. These two are the more unique ones. If you find ones with these, they're probably really good articles, in all honesty. So these are the primary classes. Safe class SCPs are anomalies that are easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the Foundation has researched the SCP well enough to contain that containment does not require significant resources, or that the anomalies require a specific and why can't I read that word? Conscus. Oh, I'm not even gonna bother. It's activation or trigger. Wait, conscious. Conscious? That's not conscious. I feel like they may have misspelled this on somehow. I've conscious. Is that how you spell conscious? I have never seen that word spelled. Classifying an SCP as safe, however, does not mean that handling or activating it does not pose a threat. For a complete list of safe class articles on the site, click here. Oh, I didn't realize they added this. This is actually a new feature. If I click here, what does it take? Oh, dear God. Oh my God, I didn't realize as many were safe class. I'd hate to click the Euclid class. That'd be like half the site. Oh my God. I didn't realize how many were safe class. I knew a lot of them were safe class. I didn't realize that many. Jeez. Okay, Euclid. Euclid. Wow. I can't speak. Euclid class SCPs are anomalies that require more resources to contain completely, or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually, this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Euclid is an object class with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that an SCP will be this class if it doesn't easily fall into any of the other standard object classes. As a note, any SCP that's anomalous, sentient, or sapient is generally classified as Euclid due to the inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own. For completely... Oh god, I gotta click this. I gotta... Say hello to the longest page probably on this entire website. Holy shit. Yeah, this is probably the longest page because Euclid is used to describe a lot of SCPs. Now, Keter. Keter class SCPs are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently and repeatedly and reliably. With containment procedures often being extensive and complex, the Foundation often can't contain these SCPs, while due to not having a solid understanding of the anomaly or lack of technology to properly contain or counter it, a Keter SCP does not mean the SCP is dangerous, just that it is simply very difficult or costly to contain. For a complete list of Keter class articles on this site, click here. My phone went off. I'm sorry. Hold on. The heck was that? Literally just a game notifying me that I have something. I'm just gonna turn that to vibrate real quick. Hold on. There. So we're gonna click this because I know this has, yeah, this has less. Look at the size of the freaking thing here on the corner. I know you guys can't see it very well, but I have a little thing here. Yeah, this is not that long compared to the other ones. Keter is a little rarer, but at the same time, it's not. Because a lot of the more badass SCPs are Keter. Now, here's one of the rarest classes in the entire Foundation. Thamiel. Thamiel class SCPs are anomalies that the Foundation specifically uses to contain other SCPs. Even the mere existence of a Thamiel class object is classified at the highest levels of the Foundation, and their locations, functions, and current status are known to few Foundation personnel outside the O5 Council. Complete list of Thamiel class articles. Click here. Probably the shortest list here. Yeah, this is so short. Jesus. And a lot of them seem to be J's and or just not in our country. Not in America. Rather. Because these DEPTINT, those are like part of the international branches. Because fun fact about this entire thing, it actually has multiple branches throughout the frickin' world. Basically, and it's always growing. In all honesty, like they're growing it slowly. It's slowed very much. Neutralized SCPs are anomalies that are no longer anomalous, either through having been intentionally or accidentally destroyed or disabled. Neutralized is probably one of the rarer. Not as rare as Thamiel, though, as you can see. Oh, an EX. One of the explained articles. Which, brings us to explained. Esoteric narrative classes. Wait, what? Esoteric object classes, also occasionally referred to as narrative classes, are object classes that do not fall into any of the above sections. They are generally only used once and are created to further the narrative in a particular SCP. It is highly recommended that SCPs use one of these standard classes listed here, while some authors choose to introduce exceptions to these rules. They are only very rarely done in need to justify their existence and placement. Many site members will downvote a non-standard object classes if used without merit. Complete list of articles with esoteric classes. Click here. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. There's also a thing where you can create your own class if you're actually bothering to make an SCP. A lot of them though are -J, as you can see, because they're joke SCPs. No one wants to give them a normal class. So essentially they just think up their own, like, fuck around class, you know? Just kind of like, hey, this class exists in this ridiculously stupid universe where this object is an SCP. Where a bag of bugs is an SCP. Oh, good. There's actually a larger number than I thought. I'm surprised. But again, most of them are J's. Anyway, then of course we have decommission. Decommissioned SCPs being objects that are, well, wait. Oh wait, they changed this. Decommissioned SCPs are an object class that was used by senior staff in the past to not only delete unwanted articles, but place them in a sort of wall of shame. To serve as an example of what not to do. This object class is not used anymore. Decommissioning articles is not done anymore, partly because such heavy-handed edits by SCP staff are no longer allowed, and partly because decommissioning ended up backfiring. See the history of the SCP Hub, of the Universe Hub, for more historical information about decommissioned SCPs and their usage in the past. Huh. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that this used to be a thing. I kind of found it kind of insulting because they would literally put them on a wall of fucking shame. Like, how does that encourage people to actually bother writing more? when literally their creation is on a wall of shame. Like, that was one of the more kind of screwy things that they did, but then again, it was still alive, so people could just upload it and maybe get it off, I guess. I mean, it would have been nice to see. I mean, I wish they still had something kind of like it, but where you could put your articles that you actually, you know, let go of and let fail, and just kind of just want to leave them to exist in like an alternative universe. Because that would be interesting. And I don't know if they have that. Again, there's a lot of fucking pages here. This site is massive and constantly expanding. There's lots of stuff. Yeah, there's also creepypastas. Which, if you guys want to hear some creepypastas read by me from the SCP Foundation, go ahead and say it. I'll try to. But as you can tell, I'm not a very good reader. The pain of autism. Anyway, we're gonna go back to the main page. So I think the last things I'll show you are the official sister site, which is the Wanderer's Library. Literally the Serpent's Hand, which is a negative enemy foundation, which I'll explain in probably another video. Then we have the International Translation Archive. This is actually straight up just part of the SCP Foundation, so I'll explain it right here. It's very simple to explain anyway. This is essentially a massive international translation archive of all the different Foundation branches. So essentially we have English, Russian, Korean, Chinese, French, Polish, Spanish, Thai. I almost couldn't read that word for some reason. Japanese, German, Italian, Ukrainian. Oh. I've never actually seen that word written, so I was just like, what? Portuguese, Czech. This is in Czech Republic. Or Czech Republic. And language. The language incubator, which is any language. Language incubator is weird. And I'm not gonna go over it because I just realized how many things there are. The unofficial branches. Oh, I completely forgot there are unofficial branches currently. Greek, Vietnamese, Nordic, uh, translation Chinese. Wait, what? Oh, traditional Chinese. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's non-traditional and there's traditional. I completely forgot about that. And Turkish. And my dog's being loud. And he's an asshole. And yeah, I can't think of anything else I need to talk about right now, so I'm just gonna check how long the video's been for. Yeah, I think I'll end the video here and do another one later. And read some more SCPs. If you want me to read one of these from the international branch, go right ahead and tell me. I probably will. If you want me to read another one from here, of course I will. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all know the drill. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace!